Hey, what's up, everybody? You are listening to the Wealth Smart Families podcast. Today's episode, I talked to Dr. David Pietsch, who is going to tell us his story, how he went from owning a very successful chiropractic clinic, but frankly, just didn't have any time to see his family, any time to do the things that he wanted to do in life, and how he was able to transition out of that into a home-based business that has now set him completely financially free, giving him total time freedom, and just allows him to live the life that he didn't even know was possible. So it was a really fun interview. I had a great time talking to him. I have so much respect in the world for this man. I know you're going to enjoy it just as much as I did recording it. So let's jump in, check it out. All right, everybody, welcome to the Wealth Smart Families podcast. Excited here to have my good friend, Dr. David Pietsch. Thanks for being here, Doctor.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. As stated in the intro, he has become one of the biggest influencers in the industry of network marketing, and we'll get into some of the strategies and how he built that, why he felt that that was the best vehicle for him as we get going here. But first and foremost, I just want to hear, like, you built this now. So what is life like now that you have built this residual income, and what kind of journey are you and your family on now?
Wow. Look, my background is in chiropractic. So I practiced when it was all said and done for about 10 years up in Minneapolis, and started doing network marketing just part-time at night. And I did both. I saw patients during the day, and I did network marketing at night for about 3 years. And then just made the decision after the 3 years that our income was so substantial through network marketing that we just decided to sell my chiropractic office. My wife quit her job as a dental hygienist. And we have a house in Minneapolis, and now we have a house in Las Vegas, so we get to have kind of the best of both worlds. And, so in the last 5 years, our life has radically changed. We've got 3 daughters now, 5 and under. So, the thing that I love the most about my life is just the time freedom. In chiropractic, it was the same spot every single day. I'm just driving up to the same office. Every day is like Groundhog Day, the exact same thing. And now it's just so much more flexibility. I don't have to set my alarm clock hardly ever, unless I've got a flight, I would suppose. But just the ability to truly work from home, have complete control of my life. I don't worry about money, because on the 15th of every month, I just get a big old check that is way, way, way higher than any of my residual bills that I might have. And, so it's just, I truly just do the things that I like doing day in and day out. And my wife and I like to travel, so we've traveled a lot all over the world. And, we're going to homeschool our daughters, as we're currently doing right now. And, we're just have a vision of just taking these girls to a lot of the places around the world that we like them to see. And just, it's just peace. To me, I look back on my journey of, I did it for about 1,000 days, just as hard as I could up front. And here I am now. I've had 9.5 years of, just total time and money freedom. And so nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can take away the last 9.5 years. And, we just plan on living like this for the rest of our life. And I just truly believe that if everybody could feel what it actually feels like to have time and money freedom, they would work a whole lot harder to achieve that goal in their own life.
Yeah, well, yeah, no kidding, right? So you put it like that, absolutely. We talk about, and so many people get stuck in this situation where they've got their regular job, they've got the golden handcuffs, their bills are paid, and that part's great, but they have to wake up in the morning, figure out how to get their kids to their before school care so the kids can then go to school so they can go to work, and then they have to rush home so they can get the kids after school or after the after school program, feed them dinner, give them to do their homework, put them to bed, and do it all over again. So with everything that you just said versus that reality, which, a lot of people are facing right now, and that's okay. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. You were fortunate, at the time to start without having your wife and kids yet, but can you imagine being back in that situation and where you're running a full-time chiropractic clinic and raising a family?
Dan, that is, my wife and I talk about this all the time. We have unlimited time and money, and we can barely keep the 3 kids alive as it is. So the masses of people who are in the scenario that you just described, my goodness gracious, I just don't know how people do it. And I just want people to know that you don't have to live your life like that. There is a way out. I can tell you for certain that even though I was a single guy before I started doing network marketing, I remember building the practice of my dreams and laying in bed one day and just thinking about all I do is work. All I do is either see patients or I'm out there marketing to get more, and just going, God, this cannot be my life. You've got to help me. I got to get something else going. And so I just kind of got to that point in my life where the pain was severe enough that it caused me to do something about it.
Right. And you did that before wife and kids. So I can see, so within your network marketing business, you've had hundreds of thousands of people come through, sign up as representatives, as customers. So I'm sure you've seen people start this journey once they've already had an established family, established routine, maybe an established household, sports, activities, kid responsibilities, all this stuff that's already so hard. How have you seen some people that are already kind of established within a family environment go make success of network marketing work for them?
Well, what's great about that whole scenario right there is, look, these are people that have spent their whole lifetime building their reputation and building influence with their peers. And so somebody like me comes along now, and I've got time, and they might not necessarily have a lot of time, but they know the people. So when we partner together, they might be working all throughout the day, but I'm able to chase down their contacts and build them a residual check, until we can get them to the point where they have the option to walk away if that's what they want to do. But really for me, I just took advantage of that scenario because, I was seeing patients when I first started. I was extremely busy, but the guy that got me in, I'm looking at him going, I get that person right there. I get this guy chasing down my contacts all over the country. I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab that lifeline. This guy cares about me. This guy's willing to help me build income. I'm doing it. So, that's the answer. I mean, everybody that's got that scenario where they got kids and they're super busy and all those things going on, you have to realize that when you have somebody like myself or like you, Dan, or others that are willing to go take your contacts and just chase it, wherever it might go, if it goes from, Minnesota, where you are, to Texas, to Australia, to New Zealand, or, to Europe, whatever, wherever, we just chase it down because we make money when you make money. That is just something I think every single family should do.
Right. And, it gets talked about in every, within a lot of people's viewpoints, network marketing has kind of a negative appeal to it. They don't quite understand what it is. But in my opinion, and I know in your opinion, you kind of just alluded to it, it's really one of the most perfect business models there is, because they've got these dreams, and people listening to this podcast have dreams, and you are able to go out there and just help them fulfill their dreams. If you help them fulfill your dreams, you get taken care of just fine.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where else people can go for a very small amount of money, with virtually no experience to start. And they can have people at, say our caliber who really know how to do this business, who've had success, ultimately go and work for them. When I was in chiropractic, I had to hire coaches and I had to pay them a ton of money. If you're in real estate, you got to go hire the real estate gurus. Whatever profession you're in, you got to pay to get the knowledge. In network marketing, you pretty much get it for free if you really want to learn this stuff. So, again, I do wholeheartedly 100% believe that network marketing is the greatest way to earn money. That is not hype. That comes from the core of my being, because I did both, Dan. I was at the top of my profession in chiropractic. I lived that life, and I'm at the top of my profession in network marketing, and the two lives are not worth comparing. Network marketing is so far superior. It's not even, I can't even fathom. If I had to go back and be a chiropractor right now, not to make fun of or put down all my chiropractor buddies, but I personally, knowing what I know and experiencing what I've experienced over the last 9.5 years, I would feel like an absolute failure because I could not do it. I could not go back to the box. I'm free and I'm not going back in.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. And you kind of said in there, you're right about other professions. You need to go hire coaches. You need to go to all this extensive schooling, and it's very expensive. And, as you know, and as a lot of people listening to this know, I've made a lot of my career through real estate, and we were running those big real estate seminars, and we were charging people thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for coaching and things like that. And I would look at some of the people, and that was when I started getting more and more involved in network marketing. I'm like, man, we should just get them over there instead of having a lot of these people that don't quite have any business doing real estate yet. Maybe down the road, but they don't quite have the means or the experience to do it. Can we get them into something else for a few $100 where they can start getting some of those skills, some of these really important skills that you need in business? And you can start building residual income. I mean, really, Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we both love about it. Within network marketing, you can set yourself up and build some sort of residual income within 30 to 90 days if you go
That's
out
right.
there and work hard at it. So it doesn't need to be a lot, just needs to be a step going in the right direction.
And,
So
and Dan, you're exactly right, because what happens is when people start to build their network marketing business, they're going to get rejection, and, for me and my company, I set all the records. And the reason I think I was able to do that is I was just so used to people telling me no when I try to get them to be my chiropractic patient, or when I was out doing screenings at the gym or at a grocery store and just trying to get people to come over and talk to me, and just, people saying mean things to me. And, it just toughens you up, and it just teaches you how to communicate better, and it helps you with your confidence and certainty. And if you can get thick skin, I'm just telling you, you can do a lot of damage in network marketing.
well, you can do a lot of damage in network marketing. It's also a great place to develop that skin if you're thinking about doing some other business. I
Right.
look at people coming through our real estate seminars, which I haven't done now in a few years, but they were coming through there, and if they didn't know how to sell, it's really hard to do a lot of the real estate things. The real estate things, I can give you all the technical real estate things to do, but if you can't go and talk to an investor and get turned down and get rejected, that's going to make that business really, really hard to ever be successful at. And it's so much easier to go and develop that skin, that thick skin through an industry that only costs you a few $100. Plus, you get the support of people that have earned millions of dollars. So, yeah, you're right. I don't know where else in the world you can go for a few $100, and all of a sudden you got coaches, mentors, partners that have made that kind of money. You find
Training
somebody that
events that you can, like I live out here in Las Vegas. I mean, this is the training capital of the world. And,
right.
You can go to these training events, and they're really low cost as well. And you're exactly right, Dan. I mean, I've had so many people on my team over the years have applied the skills that they've learned in network marketing, and they just started doing something else as well. And they just absolutely flourish because they learned the skills in network marketing. Just my own experience of going back 20 or so years when I first got started in network marketing when I was in chiropractic school. I just saw an individual who was making an awful lot of money, and it just expanded my mind, got me to think bigger, got me to realize I need mentors. There's people that know things that I don't know. And so, the mentors, the seminars, the access to information that I would have never learned had I not been in network marketing. I mean, it just brings people together who want a better life themselves.
Yeah, that was one of my first taste of it as well. And one of the things that I really enjoyed, because coming through and running my own seminars once upon a time, and I used to speak on a lot of big stages like 10, 12 years ago before I had kids, and I would watch all these gurus, and to sit in those rooms, whether it's entrepreneurship training, real estate training, sales training, a lot of times the attendees were paying $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to be there. And I would just be sitting in the back, or in the back of the stage waiting for my turn to speak, counting heads. Like, holy cow, those people are spending so much money just to learn this skill. And just like we were talking about with network marketing before, is that you can go out there and you can help somebody else achieve their dreams. You can make more money. At the same time, the network marketing companies, the good ones, understand that better trained network marketers, sales force within their team are going to perform better. So they give you training that's better than what I see people spending $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 on. And they give it to you for a couple $100 because they just know that they make more money if they train you better. So it's literally some of the best training that you can get, and you get it for a fraction of the cost.
For sure.
So I've told people that before. Join the company just so you can go to their trainings. So it's a lot cheaper.
Right.
It's a lot cheaper than the expensive one. So, well, switching gears a little bit, you talked a little bit about the family and your wife and what your life's like now. When you got started, when you first met your wife, was there any preconceived notions that she had around the industry of network marketing or anything holding you up there?
Yeah, not that I can think of. I mean, she was actually in my downline. So, at that time I was seeing patients every day. I'm doing the presentation out of my chiropractic office literally every night. So I guess we dated for a couple of years, and that it looked like this, Dan. She would come to my presentation, and then I would train afterwards every night, and she just sat there and watched me do it. I mean, that was pretty much the only time. I have no idea why she married me. I really don't. I mean, it was just, I had no life whatsoever. But, I thought if she's willing to put up with all that, then I better put a ring on it. So, she didn't give me any sort of slack for doing it. I would say this, that, that whole thing right there, because I was busy and I didn't have a lot of time for her. I know that bothered her, but I remember taking her to Dubai. We went to London, then we went to Dubai in February, so we can get out of Minnesota. And we were at the Burj Al Arab, the hotel there that looks like a sailboat. I've heard it's the most expensive hotel in the world. We're up there on Valentine's Day, having dinner at the restaurant overlooking the city of Dubai. And I just had this thought. I said, was it worth it? And she knew instantly what I was talking about, because, we paid a price, and the price was severe. It was heavy. I mean, it takes a lot to actually do it if you're going to do it and do it fast and do it big. But, from that moment on, we came back, we sold the clinic, and here we are. And my wife and I have been on lots and lots and lots of vacations all over the world. That we've lived a very blessed life. And, we, again, like I said, we get to have 2 homes, and we get to travel all over the place, and we've got all sorts of friends. And, we truly are living a life that we didn't even know was really possible before we started doing all this stuff. We just didn't know what we didn't know.
Right. Speaking to that, and you made a good point there, that it is difficult, and you do have to give up a season, and there is going to be sacrifice. I mean, anything worthwhile, there's going to be some sacrifice that comes along with it. So just like you went through it, I'm sure you've seen a lot of other people go through it who are in different situations. Right now, there is somebody on your team that has an unsupportive spouse, or doesn't quite understand or see the vision that they see. Have you dealt with that situation? How have you kind of handled it, or how have you seen people come through that? Because I know that becomes a big obstacle for a lot of people. A lot of people see it, but if they have the spouse that's not quite supportive, it makes it really, really hard. And then that's a long, long road.
Yeah, it certainly is tough, and it's hard for me to grasp that situation because it's not my reality. But I've certainly had tons of folks be in that scenario, over a long time. I mean, I would say, first of all, there's some sort of problem in that relationship. You got to have a better communication. You got to get on the same page. You got to figure out what it is that you really want. And, look, the bottom line at the end of the day, it's just, you just got to make it work. If that's the case, like I can think of, one of my best friends up in the Twin Cities, a guy that was my roommate in chiropractic school, my workout partner, lives right down the street from me, from my house when I'm up there in Minnesota. He was the first intern I ever had in my clinic. This is a person that, I really wanted to get in right off the bat, but his wife wouldn't let him do it. Eventually he heard I was making all sorts of money, so he joins. And, he was having a lot of success, and she just was still, a Debbie Downer. And he ended up bringing her to one of the big events, and he was walking across stage for hitting a certain rank in our company, one of the highest levels in our company. And it was the first time she'd ever come to an event, and she's on the stage, with him, and she's just seeing how big it is and how many people he had influenced. And she just broke down in tears, and she grabbed the mic and she apologized to him on stage. And it was just a really cool moment. And it helped a lot of people that were in that same scenario. So, I said all that to say, you just got to make it work. You just have got to get out there. If your spouse is not supportive, you just got to prove them wrong that this is, a worthy thing of doing, and it will give you a better quality of life, once you actually get it done. Because I'm telling you, there's just a season that you have to go through, and the only way through is through. But you come out the other end, and if you do it right, you can be free.
Right. In that season, you were doing it in your chiropractic office at night. It sounds like you're spending several hours on it every night. I know that, some people can still continue to do that, and a lot of people who've been successful have done that. But, you also broke all the records in the company. I would say, and you can back me up or give me your thoughts on it, or tell me I'm crazy, whatever, but that season is almost more so than how hard it is you hit that season. It's that you hit that season consistently, and that every single day, even if it's just, the half hour a day or the 1 hour a day you can get it, it's that you do it every single day. What would you say to that?
I mean, look, I can tell you my mentality of when I started building my business. I had just done it 3 times prior, not in network marketing, but I had to discipline myself to achieve a goal 3 times prior to it. So, going through high school, I could care less about academics. I was playing football. That's all I really cared about. And so I didn't really study hard. I really wasn't very smart. And I get into college and I play football and I break my collarbone, and I just decided, hey, I want to do something with my life. So I thought my original goal was to be a medical doctor. I eventually switched to chiropractic. But I can just tell you, Dan, for me to go and get my biology degree in undergrad, that was hard for me to do. I mean, I had to take chemistry and physics and biology and chemistry and organic chemistry and all that kind of stuff. And just to do that, it was, I had to really hunker down, and I had to get all the tutors. I needed all the help I could get. So then I go on to chiropractic school. I get in, and it's you weigh almost like double the amount of classes, maybe even triple the amount of classes every quarter. And you're just like, oh my goodness. I mean, no job, you got to go to class and you just got to totally study every single night just to pass the quizzes and the midterms and the exams and the national board. So again, just total commitment. Well, then I get a piece of paper that says I'm a chiropractor now. Now I got to go build my clinic. So I got to get the loans. I got to learn how to build out an office. I got to learn how to get my own equipment, hire the staff, and just do all that. And again, it was just total commitment. And every time that I did that, it seemed like it was about 4 years. 4 years for my undergrad degree, 4 years for my chiropractic degree, 4 years to get my practice where I really wanted it to be. So when I got into network marketing, I just said, I got to do it one more time. I got to make one more run of just disciplining myself. And so I had to look at things in my life that I was willing to give up, like watching TV or going to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball games or boating or golfing or just things that weren't going to take me toward the intended goal. I just shifted away from it. And I just did income producing activities, which was show more people what it is that we're actually doing in my network marketing business. And I took it to my network with passion, with intensity, and with an attitude that we're absolutely going to make it, because just like anything else I've ever done in my life, you just set a goal and then you just achieve it. And so when I started, I wholeheartedly believed that I was going to go the distance. I wholeheartedly believed that I was going to be the top earner in my company. I wholeheartedly believed that I would set all the records. I mean, that's what I set out to do. And I just think if people would treat their network marketing business like, just imagine right now you're going to try to win a gold medal in the Olympics, or you're going to try to go to law school or medical school or whatever. That you got to discipline yourself and you got to set aside time. People that, they got some sort of negative spouse or parents or something, like they would be applauding you all day long if you're going to law school at night online or something like that. And, you're not home for a full week at Christmas time. You're only home for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You got to get back and study. I mean, they would be like, oh, Dad, we're so proud of you, son. But you do something like this, and somehow you're the bad guy if you aren't, hanging around like them all the time. So again, in network marketing, you have to discipline yourself. You got to set goals for yourself. You got to achieve those goals. And it all boils down to activity.
Right. Absolutely. So the way I started that and phrased it, it sounds like you agree with the consistency, but you're definitely going with this all-in intention, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, it is, you went in with all-in intention. You went in with the all-in intention of breaking records, and you got there, and the result of that was the past 9 years you've had, time and money freedom, which is awesome. And, if people start looking at it like that's the outcome, that's on the other side, even if it takes you 3, 4, 5 years to achieve that choice. But if they can officially look in their bank account and say to themselves, my job is a choice now, that's a pretty cool place to be. And that's a pretty cool amount of freedom to have. And if it takes 3, 4, 5 years, I know I've heard you say it before. I've heard a handful of people say it before. The time is going to pass either way, right?
Exactly.
So
look, it's either do it or you don't. And then we'll have to have the same conversation in 5 years, every 5 years, until you actually get it done.
Right.
And you'll look back and go, oh, I wish I would have done it when I was younger. I wish. You just have to realize that the time's going to go by either way. Just get it done now. Just pay the price now. Right. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'm allowed to kind of say this here, but speaking of records, sounds like you might be going for another record within your own company there. You going to try and break it again, you think?
Yeah, I'm going to plan on starting a brand new center just from scratch. And I have every intention of breaking my own record just to show people, hey, here I am. I'm married. I got 3 kids. I got a big team. I got to, help oversee and help with. And, at the same time, I'm starting new teams. And I just think that would fire people up like there's no tomorrow, just to see what that actually looks like when I do it. And, things are different today. We didn't have Zoom back then, Dan, when I made my first run. And I wasn't even on Facebook or, of course, any sort of social media. I didn't even have a phone that I could text on. Right. I didn't even know how to text. I never even sent a text message when I first started network marketing. So the world is completely different today. The speed of exposure is way fast. And I think people should be breaking my records all over the place, no matter what company you're in.
Absolutely. So, and, I know a lot of people always say they want to shadow you, or they want to, just be around you for a period of time, see what your day-to-day activity is like. And I realize that's not really a possible thing, especially with as many of those requests as I'm sure that you get. But for going out and, breaking this record again, it sounds like, from what I understand, it's going to get documented. And it's going to be put out there for people to see and follow, for them to understand, right?
Yeah, and then they'll just know what it takes.
Yeah.
They'll just literally watch me do it from day one until we get the job done. And, then they can compare their activity level to what it is that we're doing over here. And,
right.
I would just say for the masses of people, you just have to do more every single day. When I made my first run, I've hit the highest level of my company twice, but the first time I did it, I just had the mentality that there is no tomorrow. If I could get something done today, I'm just going to get it done because I wanted to collapse the time frame. Because I believe this, Dan, in network marketing, people compare themselves to you. They'll look at you and go, oh, Danny's a pretty sharp guy. I think I'm as sharp as him. I could probably do it faster than he did. Or they might say, Dan, that's a smart dude. I'm not as sharp as him. But if it took him a year to hit the highest rank or 3, well, then I could do it in 6. They play that game, that comparison game. So, you better get out there. You better set the pace because you're going to be an example for everybody else forever. And you have to tell that story, whatever it is, forever. So you might as well make it a good one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I don't know. It's all good stuff, but you know me, I can geek out over this stuff for a long time. And, whether or not people have time, because I know that question pops up in certain people's head, like, I'm already so busy, I just don't have the time. And I think I was telling you about it. I just did this, another challenge called the Hard 75, where I had to work out twice a day. I had to eat a certain way. I had to drink a bunch of water. And I know anybody following this podcast, they heard me talk about it as I was going through it. But it was a commitment of 2 to 3 hours a day of stuff. And that time exists if you want to make that time exist.
For sure.
And you just got to find it somewhere, whether it's waking up a little bit earlier, skipping the softball games, not watching your favorite TV show anymore, whatever it is, the time definitely exists. So, well, there's a lot of different directions, that we can go. But I think, our audience is going to be most interested in following this journey of this you breaking the record again, because that just sounds cool. That just sounds like really cool reality TV to me. So we're gonna give them a link here, and we're also gonna put a link in the show notes, and we'll just direct that link to that if that's okay with you. And it's going to be the wealthsmartfamilies.com/David Pietsch. And just for fun, why don't you spell your last name just so they make sure they get it right?
Yep, it's P-I-E, like pie, P-I-E-T S-C-H. P-I-E-S-C-H.
That's what I had written down, but I was like, well, we're going to throw this one back on you because I know you won't get it wrong. So, all right, well, is there anything you want to leave the audience with here today?
Well, look, if you're serious about building the network, just understand that it's a viable profession. It's not something that's below you. I don't care what you do currently. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, better, in my opinion, than having teams of people. I mean, I've got tens of thousands of representatives underneath me on my team, Dan. And if they all gave me 1 hour a week, and we know that a lot of them don't do anything, but some of them do a lot. But, just hypothetically speaking, if all of them gave me 1 hour a week, I've got tens of thousands of man hours. That's how you do it. It's not all about you. And for me, my mentality has always been over the last 12 and a half years is I just want to clone people that are just like me. If you really want to make this thing work, then I'm going to teach you exactly what I know. I'm going to help you do it because I want to end up with you being exactly like me. Because then I really have cloned myself. And I say it all the time. I wish I had a whole bunch of people that were just like me. And that's really the goal that I have in my mind as I build my network.
Right. Yeah. Just keep building. So, well, thank you so much. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Again, that website for anybody that's interested in following this journey is wealthsmartfamilies.com/David Pietsch, P-I-E-T-S-C-H. And appreciate you hopping on today, Doctor.
Hey, thanks, Dan. I look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world. Rock and roll.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.